These are the fabrics I'll be using for this tutorial. I am using an African print fabric because I am making a reversible jacket. You can use a lining for the inside if you want. You need a dress pattern to continue this tutorial. If you don't know how to draft a dress pattern, you can check the description box below or the comment section on the tutorial on how to make a dress pattern. Now this is my back pattern, and the length of this pattern is my shoulder to my knee length, and you can make yours as long as you want. Now from the armhole part, I go in by 1 inch and I'll give that armhole curve because I want the armhole curve to have a little shape because this is a sleeveless pattern. Now I would place this center back of my pattern to this folded edge of my fabric. Make sure your fabric is folded so you can have one piece when you cut this out on your fabric. Now that I have cut this out, next thing I am going to do is I am going to retrace my waistline on my fabric by notching that waistline on my fabric, as you can see. And once I open up my fabric, I would go on and connect the notched line. Now I am trying to retrace the back dart on my fabric, and I'll place my fabric on fold. Next thing I'm going to do right now is I am going to measure the center line. I'm going to measure my dart from the edge of my pattern to the center line of my dart, the center line, and I have 4 inches. Now I am going to mark that 4 inches on my fabric, and I'm going to take ½ inch on both sides, and the length of my back dart is 6 inches, and I have taken that on the upper part and also on the lower part. And now I would connect my dart lines. Now once you're done doing this, also make sure you do the same on the other side. This is how you connect your darts on your fabric. Now moving on, here is how you stitch your darts. Fold the center line like this and stitch and follow the dart lines. And as you can see, I have also cut out my inner piece, and I have also marked out my darts, and I would go and stitch my darts, and I'll pull this aside. Now for my front pattern, my neck width is 3 and my neck depth is 3 inches. Now I would also go in by 1 inch, just like we did while drafting the back pattern. Now I will connect my armhole curve and I would cut that out. Now this is totally optional. You can decide to skip this part, but I like doing this while making a sleeveless pattern to give it a more nicer look. And the length of this pattern is the same with the length of the back. Now I have folded my fabric into 2 because I want to cut the 2 fronts together. Now I will just take a marginal line right here, and I'll place my pattern on my fabric, making sure that the highest point of my shoulder is touching that line. Now I will take 18 inches, depending on how wide you want your waterfall to be. I'll take 18 inches. You can use 16, you can use 20, totally depends on you. Now I'll go on and connect my line from my neckline to that 18 inches. And now I'll connect this to the length of my dress. Now on this line that I have marked, I will find the midpoint of this line because I want it to have a little curve. I don't want it to be straight. Now I would place my midpoint right there, and I'll go upwards by about 2 inches. Now that I have done this, I will go on and create my curve like this all the way to the top, and now all the way to the bottom. Next thing I will do is to cut this out. Now that I am done cutting, I have 2 pieces for my front as you can see. Now I would also go on and cut two pieces for my inner part of the front. Now that I have stitched my darts for the back parts, I will go on and place the front to the back good sides together, and I'll go on and stitch the shoulders together, and I will also place the good sides of the other part of the front and stitch. Now also make sure you do the same thing for the inner part of your jacket. Also make sure you stitch the shoulders together. Now next thing I am going to do is I am going to stitch the sides together by 1/2 inch, and I'm going to also do the same for the other part of the jacket. I'm going to stitch it by 1/2 inch. Once you've done that, open up your fabric like this and place the good sides of the front and the inner parts together. And we're going to join the shoulder joinings together. And next thing we will do is we're going to stitch everything all the way around by 1/2 inch. What we're basically doing here is you're going to stitch all the edges closed from the top to the bottom and to the sides. You're going to stitch everything closed, and once you're done doing that, you should have this. As you can see, I have stitched my fabric. Now I am going to turn this out from the armhole parts. The armhole part is where I'm going to turn this out from. Now next thing I am going to do is we're going to stitch the armhole by folding it in like this and pin. I'm going to keep folding it in and pin, and I'll keep folding in the rough edges, and I'll keep doing this till I get to where I started from. Now once you're done doing this, next thing you're going to do is stitch all the way around it, and you will do the same thing for the other armhole part, and give this a really nice press all the way around it. Give your jacket a really nice press, and that is it, my beautiful people. Your jacket is ready. See ya. Now before we wrap up, here is how you iron your jacket. Place the front like this, fold it over slanted like this. Now press, give it a very nice press at this edge. Now place this part over and also give this part a very nice press. Then fold this over like this and also give it a nice press. And also make sure you do the same for this other part, and your jacket is going to come out looking like this.